Did you read today's newspaper where there were two description of two different cases where murders were done, right? So brutal killing happened. Who do you think is the culprit here? So today we are going to understand the deeper underlying emotional turmoil that each one of us go through at different stages of our life. So the whole reason here is not that someone was bad or someone was right, someone was wrong. I think here to the situation, not just the people who are actively participating is the reason. As a society we are also playing our own role, and it's disheartening to see how the society has been moving from towards more of a violence and figuring out that as the only solution to deal with the situation. However, there are a lot of learnings that we all have to do as a society and move ahead to understand and help and support these kind of people. And it has to start very young. As a society we are still ignorant about the mental well-being, how emotions can you know throw our life out of our control, and how a person as an individual can behave brutally during the influence of anger, frustration, or irritation, or disrespectful event itself. So the whole event blown out of proportion was because of the poor anger management or poor emotional uh, skills in an individual. So to talk about the Bangalore techie, I would say, not specific to that person. However, if someone would have trained him how to process his emotions in a healthy way, or if would have seek the professional help to learn, how to manage his emotions, I'm sure this condition or the state of event would can be possibly saved. Because see, I think being human we all love someone to validate us or appreciate us and feel that we belong to someone. In such scenario, I think it's very crucial that we all also learn to accept you know failures and how to overcome through the life events as well. So, given the situation, there was a rejection and then failure of the acceptance of rejection, and then how to manage the emotional turmoil one was going through was the reason why there was this kind of traumatic outburst, and consequence to that was very 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 highly intense and put so many lives under you know place of pain, suffering, and loss, right? So I think here I am here to talk about how we can identify our own self going through the emotional turmoil as early as possible so that we can seek help for it. So if you are someone who's constantly feeling lonely, or who's not enjoying your regular activities which you would enjoy otherwise, and you cannot sleep well, and you're constantly getting irritated, angry, and jittery for no reason, then you have to seek help immediately to understand what is the underlying cause for you. I think as a society we are normalizing all of this as momentary things, and then we will come out of it. But it may not be so if it is staying longer than 1 or 2 weeks, and it varies from person to person. So how long you have been experiencing these symptoms really gives a huge clue that how far you have been going through at the mental condition, right? It's not a mental disease. Please be aware that just because you're taking counseling or taking external professional support means that you have a mental health disease. No, it is only a mental health condition where symptoms can be at the reversible state. So you can reach out to counseling, talk your concerns and then figure out a way to healthy process your anger, frustration, or an emotional outburst that you are experiencing. The only reason we go through these emotional outbursts is because we think that there's no way out of the condition that I'm experiencing. And when a person is emotionally overwhelmed, of course we don't see any outcome or any escape from that event. So I think it's figure talking to your own family, friends, and talking to someone who's professional, who can guide you, help you through this journey, is something very very crucial and plays a major role in each one of our life, because there's always so many things that we don't know as an individual are the face situations that we all have to face, right? So given that, the reaching out to professional where they will train you how to process it healthily, right? Let's say if I'm going through an emotional outburst, the first thing that I can do is walk out of the situation or walk out of the event, so that I give myself enough time to pause, breathe, and then come back to my normal self. If I'm not able to run away from that, take a break and then go wash your face or dip your face in the cold water. That will also help better. So what I am suggesting, all these are spontaneous, quick, tricks for you to break through that. However, these may not help you in the long run, because you keep seeing yourself constantly experiencing your anger outbursts. Then it's very very important and crucial that you learn a healthy way of processing your emotions, which has never been trained to all of us. However, being an adult ourselves, I think it's our biggest responsibility to reparent ourselves and then build our own healthy way to process it. That is where therapists can also help you to navigate through these emotional outbursts. The first thing that you need to do is that sweat out your emotions or journal your emotions, so that nobody else gets hurt by your emotional outburst. And then always stay hydrated and then talk it out. I think it's a scary place to be in when we have to emotionally going through those dark phases, to go all out there and then talk about it. However, even you do it with someone whom you trust, where there's a safe space for you to reach out to that and then figure out a better way to process it, would be a great way to not be fearful of it, right? So that is where you can always reach out to a professional help, who will be a better person, who's qualified, who's trained to help you through that. And the other thing that you can always do is, when you are angry and upset, pause, which will always come handy, whether in the long term or when you are in any critical situation as well. So when you pause, ask yourself, why is that you are angry and upset? If you're not able to ask yourself, you can always focus on your breath, so that it gives you a calmness from within and help you to make a rational decision making. Otherwise, because of the emotional overwhelmed feeling, we are not able to think rationally and act rationally. The other strategy that you can also use is focus on five things that you see, so that will take away your mind from what is upsetting you or what is bothering you. So when your mind has only one, and your mind has an ability to only focus at one thing. So when you focus, bring your attention to these five things that you see, you will stop overanalyzing the situation and then start spotting these five things. The other things that you can do is touch four things that you can, you know, you have an access to. That will also bring yourself to the present. The other method that you can do is three things that you hear. So when you bring your attention to three things that you hear, you will also be able to distract your mind from the racing thoughts. And you can smell two things that you can smell around your environment. And the last thing that you can do is taste one thing that you are experiencing in your mouth. So simply following this 1 2 3 4 5 number technique will help you to bring yourself to the present, back from whatever thoughts are racing, and then whatever event is taking away your emotional trigger. So I think as a society and as a human being, it is also our personal and individual responsibility for each one of us to learn to manage our emotional balance, and also to process our emotions in a healthy way. If not so, we are all going to pay a price in terms of respond reacting to a situation, and there will always be an outcome that we will all have to face. So I think as a society, we all have to understand that managing my emotions in a healthy way is very, very crucial and biggest responsibility that we all hold on to ourselves at this point of time. Focus on seeking help professionally, not from your own family, friends, because they might also be as clueless as you are in managing a healthy emotions. And always talk it out, and there is all be aware that there's always a way out for any trouble that you're going through, and be assured that you are not the only one who is going through these kind of challenges, because there are so many exactly like that facing it. And don't react to any situation. Try to pause yourself and then follow 1 to 5 technique, which will always come handy in whatever crucial situation that you are there. And it's no point blaming someone as the reason for your emotion, because that means that I am not taking the responsibility of managing my own emotions. Hope this helps you reach out to some help and learn to practice a healthy way of emotional management as well, that can leave behind a better, healthy, and happier society, not for the next generation but our own self, so that we all live peacefully as long as we are alive here. Take care. Have a blessed day. Thank you.